I had a dream last night that I had a DeLorean time machine. I was at some exotic locale and it looked incredible. Had the hat, the jacket, the hoverboard. But then I woke up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to this week's episode of the Dads, not always on wrestling, although it's March, so it's wrestling every friggin' day on this network because that's what I'm doing. And on your network, too, because we're simulcasting this show, so, you know.
I was going to say, even on the episodes of Renegades Reviews that'll be in the non-Dads weeks, it's still going to be wrestling because it's movies that star wrestlers.
That's right. And it's Friday, March 5th, which means it's still my birthday week, so I'm just in a birthday mood. I'm having fun today, brother. Okay. I promise I won't do brother the rest of the month because I did brother a whole bunch on Monday, so I'm sorry. But yeah.
Quit lying,
I'll carry it out. I can't help it. Anyway, Lordy. So today on the Dads, we're talking about a topic that, quite frankly, needs to be talked about with he and I. We've done this before. We did, I think, in the earlier incarnations of Dads on the in the old 2014-15 years, I believe. And we also did this a few weeks ago, and somebody forgot to download it because he's a friggin' idiot. So we're going to go ahead and do it one more time. And I'm going to download it right now as soon as we're done, and we're going to go live. So there you go.
Once more with feeling, as they say.
That's right. If Buffy can do it, so can I, gosh darn it. So anyway, today we're talking about people, men, women, celebrities, no pets, I don't think.
Stables.
Yeah, stables, definitely. And yes, even Gods of Rock that should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, but for reasons inexplicable to you and I, but apparently are okay in the minds of Hunter and Stephanie and Vince, they're not in there yet. So we're going to hammer this out today. We're going to tell you, Mr. McMaster, because I know you're watching. don't BS me. I know you're watching. That you need
And
to.
if you're not personally, one of your cronies is watching.
Dude, don't call Hunter a crony. He's on our side. Stop.
I would have said, I was referring to Patterson and Briscoe, but, God bless Patterson. We lost him last year. But Briscoe's still around, damn it. So,
We lost Jerry a long time ago. We're not going to lie. He's kind of, I mean, he's purposely co-hosting a podcast with Bradshaw. So let's just keep that real, first of all.
Damn.
Choices, Gerald. Choices. Come on, Briscoe. Work with me here. Anyway. I don't know what the hell we're doing, but it's okay. So, as it is a wrestling-centric show, even though the whole damn month is wrestling-centric, so it really doesn't matter, he's going to give his list first, as he do, and then I'm going to give mine, and then honorable mentions, and then what, as he said before we were on the air, we'll tie it in a little bow, and we'll go into your weekend. So, Mr. Williams, take it away, sir.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Some of my choices, both on my main roster, if you will, and in my honorable mentions developmental roster, are definitely going to be controversial.
Oh, for sure.
I know two of mine on my main list will not get into the Hall of Fame anytime soon, but that doesn't mean that they're any less deserving.
Right.
So we're just going to throw that out there right now, that little disclaimer. As DX used to say, parental advisory is advice, but will be completely effing ignored.
That's right. Oh, by the way, speaking of effing, I haven't mentioned this all week, so I've been trying to be good little boy. Scout, you took away the F word on my birthday show. Thanks a lot, sweetheart. Anyway, go ahead. Carry on.
No worries. So,
just get in there. Just
my number 10 that should be inducted in the Hall of Fame, why are they not inducted in the Hall of Fame, would fit into the celebrity wing.
Yes.
And when you think about the band of misfits that were inducted over WrestleMania 21 weekend,
right,
when WrestleMania went Hollywood and was basically all major players involved in WrestleMania 1, including the main event, how was this person overlooked when she played a big part in the War to Settle the Score as well as WrestleMania 1?
Mm-hmm.
None other than 80s pop icon Cyndi Lauper. I mean, just look at that photo right there. You've got Mr. T, Cyndi, and Hulk Hogan, brother. Seriously. How is Cyndi Lauper not in the Hall of Fame yet? Vince, Stephanie, somebody answer me that. You know where to find me. You know where to find me.
That's right. Damn it.
Number 9 on my list is going to be my first controversial one that I know will never get inducted in the Hall of Fame. But again, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve it any less. And let me just go right here, right now, and say you have to separate personal from business. I know it's a lot. It's really difficult for a lot of people.
Right.
But if you just look at his professional career, there is absolutely no reason why this man should not be in the Hall of Fame. From Japan to ECW to WCW to WWE, the crippler, Chris Benoit. I mean, he held the world championship for both WCW and WWE.
Yep.
Along with numerous secondary titles.
Yep.
Along with ECW tag titles. Professionally speaking, Chris Benoit should be in the Hall of Fame. He never will be because of that one weekend in June.
Yep.
But if the day ever comes where WWE brass as well as the fans, can separate business from personal, I feel that Benoit will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If that day ever comes, which it won't.
It's funny you mention, Chris, when it happened in 2007, the Wrestling Observer, I will not say the person's name because I don't want to give him any acknowledgement whatsoever because I think he's useless. But
as do many,
people, right? The Observer Hall of, I don't know who does their Hall of Fame choices. I don't know if it's just him or whoever. Anyway, there was a recall vote for Chris, and he passed. He stayed. So if they are this grand, everybody loves them and they're the most respected journalists and whatever, if they can keep him in, just saying. I'm just saying, folks.
Number 8 on my list is also a little bit controversial in the fact that this person has had legal issues with the WWE in the past. However, once again, if you look at just her professional career, if you look at the ratings that she drew to Raw during the Attitude Era, and if you factor in the fact that her husband is on good terms still with the company, then more than likely we'll get into the Hall of Fame at some point when he's officially done. Why is this woman not in there? Sable.
I forgot how pretty she is. Anyway, sorry.
Women's champion. If Medusa can finally get in Alundra Blaze after throwing the belt in the trash can on Nitro.
Right.
If Jeff Jarrett can be welcomed into the Hall of Fame after all the years that he spent running down WWE, even going as far as to create his own company to try to put WWE out of business.
Yep.
She wasn't the best wrestler in the world, but she brought that sexiness, that attitude to the Attitude Era when it came to the women. And she was the birth of the Playboy partnership that WWE had for many, many years.
And we should all kiss her pretty little feet forever for that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
If WWE wasn't so PG these days, or even PG-13, don't tell me you guys wouldn't like to see that relationship rekindled and see Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Toni Storm, etc. inside the pages of HEF's magazine. May HEF rest in peace.
Oh, he may be at peace. I don't know if he's resting.
Hey-o. All right.
Just saying. Yeah. Just saying.
Go ahead and pull her down. There we go.
Got lost in the picture.
Yeah, it happens. Number 7
we both
is
know
the first.
Anyway.
Yeah. Number 7 is the first stable that I'm going to induct into the Hall of Fame. And by bringing this stable in, you will have 3 two-time inductees and 2 men going in for the first time. None other than the second variation and arguably the most dominant version of the Nation of Domination.
Oh, let me unobscure the Rock's face there.
There you go. Farouk would be a 2-timer. Rocky would be going in for his first time. Although I'm almost positive when they come out here to LA and go Hollywood again, Rocky will get in then.
He's got to. I mean, come on.
D'Lo would be going in for his first time. And let's be real, probably the only way D'Lo Brown would get in the Hall of Fame.
Which is a
no
sad
disrespect
statement,
to D'Lo. No disrespect to D'Lo, but his solo career was not worthy of a Hall of Fame induction. And the fact that he is the one who accidentally paralyzed Draws doesn't do him any favors.
I will say this about Solo career not deserving. 3 words. Coco, beware.
I know.
I know you know.
I know.
I'll say it till I die.
Mark Henry would become a 2-timer.
Yes,
And
as he
Kama
should.
Mustafa, the Godfather, Papa Shango would be a 2-timer.
The pimp's a 2-timer. You wrong for that. Anyway, go ahead.
You know. But I mean, you look at this group of gentlemen.
Yes.
And if D-Generation X can be in there,
Right.
if the New World Order is going in there this year, should have been in last year, but COVID,
Right.
you know.
Damn that COVID.
Are you seriously going to look me in the eyes and tell me this group of 5 gentlemen does not deserve a spot in there as a stable?
Yeah, no, you can't realistically say that.
No. All right, go ahead and pull that one down.
All right.
Number 6 is a man who's well-traveled.
Oh, yes.
He's been, like Johnny Cash used to say, he's been everywhere, man.
Yeah, very much so.
And yes, he had WWF runs. Yes, he had WCW runs. But it'll probably be his match in ECW against Taz that sticks out the most in fans' minds, at least in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Number 6, the Bammer, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Although, to be fair to his WWE run, main eventing with LT is definitely, highlight or not, it's there for him. So,
Meh.
I'm not a fan of it, but, you know, he did main event WrestleMania, so.
He did. But look at what Mania he main evented.
I know.
Is that really an accomplishment?
Well, Shawn Michaels shames you for that. Anyway,
I'm just saying.
Shawn agrees with you 100%. I'm not going to lie. Love you, Shawn. Anyway, carry on.
But Bam Bam Bigelow, I mean, seriously, how is this big man not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I don't understand it.
It is a gross miscarriage of justice.
Very much so.
Speaking of gross miscarriages of justice.
Oh, yes.
The fact that you didn't even put this man on your list. Because
full
disclosure, this is probably the first show that we actually shared lists for.
Yep.
Just so that Jeff could get the images that he needed to make this move smoother and not have to do so much in post-production.
Yes.
You want to talk about a gross miscarriage of justice. The man over here next to me has drank with this man and did not put it on his list. We're talking about the man responsible for not 1, not 2, but 3 WWE theme songs. The Game, King of Kings, and Line in the Sand. We're talking about, and it can go either way, Lemmy by himself or Motorhead, the band as a whole. The fact that this did not happen right when Lemmy passed, gross miscarriage of justice. And thank you very much, Jeff, for picking this picture, because that's WrestleMania 21, goddammit, and I was there for that.
Yeah. Grumble, bitch.
Granted, after that performance, Hunter would drop the belt.
Right.
But, you know, at least he had a grand send-off with it.
Yeah, we've learned over the years that getting played to the ring with a live band, not a good idea.
No. But again, Lemmy, Motorhead as a whole, however WWE wants to do it.
Right.
And the fact that they did not go in right after Lemmy's passing. Why did Hunter not push for this?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
man eulogized Lemmy, for Christ's sake.
He did. He got the Spirit of Lemmy award not too long ago.
I mean, hell, look at them with their matching mustaches.
Seriously.
How did this not happen?
Exactly. Yep. Hunter having that mustache as Lemmy's like adopted Lemmy is the reason Stagger Lee had to shave his a year later because John beat his ass at WrestleMania.
Yep.
So there you go. And for the record, I did forget Lem. I'm not going to try to follow. I gave it to Jay because he's the music guy. Got my bad.
Uh-huh.
And JJ, well, dude, you drank with him. I don't remember doing that. We have this discussion. The world knows the story at this point. Anyway.
Number 4 on my list.
Yeah, this
is a gentleman who is probably just as good of a technical wrestler as my number 9, which we said we'll never get in.
Right.
This one, though, damn sure should be in there. Has no reason not to be in there.
No.
Especially since he is the general manager figurehead of their developmental NXT.
And legitimately their top scout.
He's been Raw GM commissioner. He's been WCW. He's even been a real man's man, for Christ's sake. I know. I still hang my head in shame for that one, too.
Right, yeah. As we
if
all
you
should.
Don't know who I'm talking about yet, number 4, William Regal.
And his growl and his purple robe, because damn it, it has to be that way.
Hell yeah, dude. Like, I don't do figures anymore, but if I could find a Regal with that robe, especially if it came with the Intercontinental title, I'd be all over that mess.
And Layla accessory, don't forget that.
Yeah. And a King of the Ring throne.
Just ship a big Regal box to the house. Screw it.
Yeah,
A big giant Regal box. Anyway.
But dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's so funny you're saying, dude. I'll tell you why later. Go ahead.
Like, I keep saying this, but why is this man not in the Hall of Fame? And if you look at some of the mid-carders that are in the Hall of Fame, no disrespect to the Godfather.
Right.
No disrespect to Larry Zbyszko.
Well, okay.
But why is Regal not in the Hall of Fame?
My only possible rebuttal to that is that he's still active and he's probably been offered it a couple of times. He's like, man, let me be active and do it when I'm done. Because that seems like the Regal, something that Regal would say.
But if he has no intention of stepping back in the ring, then he is done.
Well, I mean,
and if he's gonna step back in the ring, then goddamn it, do it already, because we could use you, considering how crappy everyone says Raw is.
You're not wrong, brother. I'm telling you.
Just saying.
I know. I hear you.
Hashtag, I'm just saying.
That's it. That's the hashtag for this show, kids. Hashtag I'm just saying. And I'll type it up when I have both hands free.
Number 3 on my list is another female.
Yes.
And when you look, again, if you look at some of the women that have been inducted in the Hall of Fame in recent years, from the same time period as her.
Right.
Lita, Trish, granted, completely deserve it.
Of course.
Ivory,
also
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Why is Molly Holly not in the Hall of Fame?
When you consider every one of those girls you just mentioned mentions Nora in their speech, when you think about the fact that she trained how many people? Yeah, silly.
And let's not forget who she was trained by, who is not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But, still, Molly Holly made such an impact on the women's division. And you've got newer women like the Bella Twins, like Beth Phoenix, that are in the Hall of Fame. No disrespect to Beth, but
No.
where's Molly? Molly
Right.
came before her.
Oh, yeah.
Without women like Molly, there could have been no Beth.
No.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's my story.
I knew you'd understand that reference.
Don't get Jeff singing country songs. We hear all friggin' day.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Oh.
Number one, we don't need to be here all day. Number two, we don't need to hear Jeff sing.
Jeff singing is not appropriate.
And speaking of number two, you like how I did that? Number two is another stable that is often overlooked in the realm of stables.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's overlooked in the realm of stables is a misjustice in of itself.
Quite so.
When you figure the fact that by putting this group in, you'll outdo the nation and have 4 two-timers.
Right.
And 2
with the potential to have 2 that are one in themselves anyway.
What's that? You froze up a little bit.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to talk over you. The 2 in the group that aren't the two-timers, one of them will definitely be in on his own for sure. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
From WCW, the Dangerous Alliance.
Whew, man, that's a stacked picture, baby.
Right? Paulie Dangerously, Paul Heyman, not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Double A, the Enforcer Arn Anderson, become a two-timer. Beautiful Bobby Eaton, first time he'd go in.
And
Larry
probably the
Zbyszko,
only. He's the one I mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah. Larry Zbyszko would become a two-timer. Yes. Ravishing Rick Rude would become a two-timer. And stunning Steve Austin.
There you go.
Stone Cold.
That's it.
Become a two-timer.
Now, I want to ask you, because you and I have had this talk off air privately more than once. I don't know if you've actually done it on the air or not. You're not a big Rick Rude guy.
I am not.
You never really have been.
So that's right.
I mean, you're doing the group, but do you think Rude deserves it, even though you're not a big Rude guy?
You know, go ahead and pull the picture down for a second.
Sorry.
You're right. I've never really been a huge Rude fan. I don't know what it is that I just can't put my fingers on the pulse of what he was all about, really.
Right.
I take nothing away from his technical prowess.
Right. Of course.
The man could wrestle a blue streak.
Yeah. Very much.
So. He could take on a broomstick, make the broomstick look good, and then put the broomstick over in the process.
Absolutely.
But there's just something about him. I don't know if it's his smugness or his arrogance in his character or the airbrushing on his tights. Like, you're laughing, but I don't know what it is about him that never really drew me to him as a performer.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
But I mean, the fact that he appeared on Raw and Nitro on the same night,
right,
speaks volumes about companies' desires to get him.
Yeah, that's a Hall of Fame moment.
Yeah, seriously.
And when you consider he was also on ECW TV that weekend, he was everywhere.
But I mean, when I thought about the Dangerous Alliance, I looked into the members and I looked into who the core people were. And you threw Medusa at me when we discussed this off air. And honestly, I never really knew Medusa was in the Dangerous Alliance.
Oh, wow, okay.
You know, you mentioned that she was a part of the core,
Yeah.
but all the stuff that I've seen of them, I've never really seen her with them.
Right.
But I've seen these gentlemen.
Right.
You know, it's much like the Nation of Domination. Like, you could go the Farouk, Crush, Savio route, but you can't argue me that the more impactful version was the version I'm putting in.
Oh,
you could
much.
also go non-Farouk, replace Farouk with Owen Hart, Rocky leader of the Nation.
Right.
But again, nowhere near as dominant as the Farouk led with D'Lo, Mark, Rocky, and Kama.
Exactly.
The Dangerous Alliance, you know, with Paulie at the helm, Arn, Bobby, Larry, Rick, and Steve. I just feel like you can't argue with those credentials.
No, you can't.
And much like how you said, this is probably the only way Bobby Eaton would get in, the Nation's probably the only way D'Lo will get in.
Right, and I did point out to you off there, both of those are not a slight on either one of them, but it is a serious miscarriage of justice that would be the thing.
Yeah.
Because both those guys are so good. Especially Bobby. Bobby is one of the best wrestlers you've never seen in this generation because he's old, and he's one of the nicest freaking dudes ever. Like, Bobby's Bobby's so nice, he makes me feel like a bad human being. Like, he's that nice. It's ridiculous.
Which brings us to number one.
Yes, exactly.
And another controversial entry.
Yeah.
Who, as long as his widow is still alive, will probably never get in.
Right.
And as long as his kids are alive, will probably never get in. Because even his son has said,
yeah,
that he doesn't want him in there.
Right.
Number one, the King of Hearts, the Black Heart, the man who is not a nugget, Owen Hart.
Now, before I throw the picture up, I wanted to surprise you, brother, because it never happened for him. And it's bullshit that it never happened for him. But there were a few house shows.
People. He was on our list of people that should have been champion and wasn't.
Right. So there were a few points along the way in 1994 when he was feuding with Brett where he won the match and became champion, and then it got overturned or some, babyface shenanigans or whatever. But it does exist.
Man.
There you go. Man, oh man.
Can
you imagine
just the thought of that image, man? Like,
right? That makes me cry all over again.
Seriously, what could have been?
Because think about it. I know. Go ahead. You do. Sorry.
No. Go ahead. Get your thought out. I'm just admiring that image.
He's on my list too, so just go ahead and do what you want to say. So I'll say what I say later.
Circumstances are what they are.
Yep.
The tragedy that befell Owen happened, and we can't erase it.
No.
It would definitely probably be one of my time points if I ever had a DeLorean and could go back and change history.
Oh my God.
I would definitely make a stop there that day and prevent that incident from happening.
Yes.
But Owen is too good to not be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And I get where Martha's coming from.
Absolutely.
I get where Oj is coming from.
Yes.
But at some point, you've got to put the past in the past and put the sorrow behind you.
Right.
The only way you can fully heal from a tragedy like that is to move forward, not keep looking back.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I feel that's what Owen's family does, is they keep looking back.
Yep.
You know, celebrate his legacy. Oh, Owen was going to retire and become a firefighter when his contract expired. Okay, great. That doesn't mean that he didn't enjoy performing while he was performing.
Right.
This was who Owen Hart was. And to not allow us, the fans, to celebrate him and shed tears for him over again with his big brother on stage inducting him.
Oh God, you're making me cry, Jay. Stop.
Well,
I know. I'm sorry. Oh man.
it needs to happen.
It does. You're right.
And if Vince and Hunter want to be real pricks,
Right.
they could always induct the Hart Foundation again,
Right.
and have it be the Brett, Owen, Anvil, Davey, Pillman stable. And that way Owen gets, if only for a second, his moment in the spotlight, and a big FU to Martha.
Yeah. Was it my turn? Okay.
Go ahead and bring it down.
Hey,
so there you have it, folks. There is my top 10 that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right. So
now I'm going to throw it over to the man, the myth, the legend, the man who is celebrating his birthday as we film this.
That's it. All week, brother.
The man who's going to say, your list was nice. Hold my beer.
It's right. Yeah. Well, no. Honestly, dude, like, you had a lot of people that, quite frankly, I'm ashamed of myself I don't have on here. I'm not going to lie.
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from the professor.
I mean, there is no reason I should not have had Lem, personal connection notwithstanding, even. Regal. I mean, how do I not have Regal on my list? That's ridiculous. I could bullshit. Oh, I know you like Regal more than I do, so I wanted to let you. Shut up, Jeff. All right. So,
Mr. Meacham, take it away.
Thank you, sir. And feel free to talk over me, because I talk over you throughout the whole thing, so I'm sorry. As I always do on the show. So, all right.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right. Blah, 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 blah. What is that from?
I don't say blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is that? I forgot where that was from. Thank you. Thank you for checking the dots. Number 10 is a guy who, we talked about this when Dylan and I watched the first show I ever watched back 30 years later. This guy was involved in the main angle of that show. So I've watched him from the very beginning. And aside from that, prior to that, he had been World Tag Team Champion a couple times. He had been the AWA World Heavyweight Champion. The man who dropped the title to Stan Hansen, who ran the damn deal over with his friggin' truck. God bless Stan Hansen. He's a spaz. Anyway, but this guy, when I turned on WWE Superstars of Wrestling that weekend, he was sneaking around the set of the Brother Love show as Jake Roberts was talking to Brother Love. And when this person dared to mess with the bag containing Damien, Jake struck back, and Rick, the Model Martel, sprayed Jake in the eyes with arrogance. And off it went to WrestleMania a few months later with the blindfold match. Granted, the blindfold match was crap. Whatever. But it was funnier than hell to watch, number one. And number two, it always held a place in my heart because it was the first angle I ever saw. Ever. Before I saw Hulk, Before I saw Warrior, before I saw Savage, I saw that. So there you go. But Rick Martel is too damn good a wrestler, too damn great a character over the course of his career to not be in the Hall of Fame. It's bullshit. He's not in. It's ridiculous. That's terrible. I can't stand it. It bugs me. So anyway,
Martel's a good name. I don't kick myself for not mentioning him due to my connection to Martel.
right.
But Martel just isn't one of the first people that comes to my mind when I think of people that need to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And especially since I wasn't watching back when he was a more prominent character.
Right, exactly.
You know, I just don't. Even though he's a cool enough guy and I've had breakfast with him on a couple occasions, you know.
Oh yeah, he's super cool. Yeah.
I just don't get the appeal of Martel, just like I never got the appeal of Rude.
Well, just remember, your fandom started, he was on the shelf with an injury in 98. So you didn't get to see him pretty much ever. So,
yeah.
You know, you wouldn't have that, even watching it back, you're not connected in the moment because you weren't there in the moment at the time. So, and a lot of this is what it's all about. All right, now, number 9 is going to surprise a lot of people because I crap on this guy all the time. Because he's not the greatest wrestler in the world. He doesn't like the business. He never did. He got into it as a money thing rather than you and I have talked about this, and we've talked about it with our friends that are in the business. If you don't have a passion for the business, then you have no business being in the business, in my opinion. This guy,
agreed.
However, took his lack of
I said agreed.
This guy took his lack of passion and made himself a career out of it. Multi-time world champion, multi-time title holder, single and tag, member of the Horsemen, member of Incarnation of the NWO. The guy who popped the rating on the very first Nitro, walking into that mall the day after working for the WWF. Like, skill or not, the dude knows what he's doing. I mean, Lex Luger will always be on my shit list forever. I don't care how bad a person it makes me, because his involvement with the list is the reason she's not here no more. And I will say that until I go. And if I go to the dark place for saying it, so be it. It is what it is. But Lex Luger took a minimal amount of wrestling skill and a $10 million body and made a career out of it, dude. I mean, you know, you can't argue with the success he got out of what he had. So, all right. Enough crap on Lex, because I was real dick there. Number 8 is a guy you guys would think would be higher on my list. Matter of fact, nobody should be as high as this guy because he's the highest it gets. But, you know, I digress. And plus, he died me out over the weekend. Mother effer said he'd have Paul induction instead of me. So, you know, screw you, dude. You're not. Okay, I love you. You know. RVD, got to be in the Hall of Fame. He's got to be in there. He's awesome. I love Rob. We all know. Everyone knows how much I love Rob. Everyone knows how much we all love Rob. And he is one of the best guys I've ever met in the business. It was on my anniversary show. I mean, he, you know, technical marvel though that show was, he actually managed to appear. I still watch that back. I go, no wonder he bounced. He was like, fuck this life, bye. But he still came to the show. He still made it to the show. He's been on my show more than anybody. I've hung out with him more than anybody in the business. My best friend freaking sat there and watched me interview him. And for a moment, even she was like mildly marking down. She don't do that no more. So it was pretty cool to see that unfold. It was pretty neat. I'm not going to lie. And of course, sharing beers and sandwiches with him was always awesome. So, but multi-time world champion in multiple companies, the longest reigning champion in wrestling of the last, I don't even know how far back a 2-year reign goes at this point, but 700 days. He was not pinned. He did not submit. And as ECW, it really doesn't matter. There's no counts of DQs. He was the best wrestler in the world for a period of 2 years. Because in a company where they rely on props and whatever, yeah, he used the props. He didn't need them. But the way he used them was innovative enough where it was still cool. He is honestly my favorite wrestler that's not in yet. But he's low on the list because these guys above him are just so deserving. So,
the closest that I can think of to RVD's TV title history, and I had to just look it up to make sure it didn't eclipse it, but it came close.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe's Ring of Honor Championship, 645 days.
Yeah, that close, man. And when you consider Samoa Joe in 2003, 2004, yeah. We interviewed Samoa Joe on XMB during that reign. You couldn't touch that boy. And if you were people in my party, you didn't like that guy apparently because you're weird. But yeah, Rob Van Dam is my favorite person on this list not to be in, and he will be that person until he gets in. And I'm gonna tell Paul Heyman now, please let me induct him. Anyway, all right. 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 7. All right. A lot of you watching this are gonna go, who the hell is this? And if you're gonna go, who the hell is this? You need to go when we're done here today. Homework. You have homework again this week. My birthday, so I can do that. Go watch The Spectacular Legacy of the AWA DVD, or if it's on the network, watch that. Because Crippler Ray Stevens not being in the Hall of Fame, bullshit. This guy was tag team championship partners with two of the greatest names in the history of wrestling and managed by one of the best, if not the best ever. He was partners with Pat Patterson, Nick Bockwinkel at different times throughout his career, managed by Bobby Heenan. And all three of those guys are in.
True.
And Ray Stevens has been gone for, what's 95 to now? 20, over 25 years. Yeah, 26 years. And he's not
Give or take, depending on when he went.
Yeah, it was, I forget what part of the year it was. Right around the same time as Big John Studd died, if that helps anybody out there. Ray Stevens was one of the best technical wrestlers of his time. If you couldn't get a good match out of Ray Stevens, you needed to retire because you suck. Okay, just foot down. That's what it was. If you couldn't get a good match with Ray, it's your bad because it sure as hell ain't his. And when Nick Bockwinkel broke in, he was still, he wasn't green as grass because he was Warren Bockwinkel's son, so he was going to be good. If you got the genes, you got the genes, brother. But Ray helped mold Mick into what Nick became when he was the 14,000-time AWA champion, because it was because of Ray and Bobby, of course. But yeah, Ray Stevens is too damn good to not be in, and it's a shame. Much like your Owen Hart entry, and the reasons why he's not in is reasons why my next guy is probably not in. Also part of that Hart clan, and he's not in yet. And based on what we know about his widow and the way she conducted her business after Brian passed, I don't know if we're ever going to see Brian in. Brian Pillman in. I don't know. And he should be. This Brian Pillman, he changed the way we look at the business. That Brian Pillman outed Kevin Sullivan on a live pay-per-view because he's crazy. And then totally, and this is where I give Brian the dude. He worked Eric Bischoff into a shoot release and then got the very first guaranteed WWF contract. He totally snaked Eric, and he knew he did. And Eric knew he did. And Eric knows to this day that he did. And Eric is, dude, I can't even mad. I can't even mad at that. Like, dude, that's smart son of a bitch, man.
It's Pillman getting revenge for Bischoff releasing Austin via phone call.
Right! Fire over the phone, bastard. Oh, see, Brian gets it. But yeah, that Brian Pillman that you see there was post broken ankle, post a lot of crap. And he wasn't the flying Brian that we saw even up to the first Nitro before he became a Horseman. Flying Brian, honestly, I don't know if Flying Brian gets in. I'm not going to lie. Because Flying Brian was a great wrestler. Yes.
Put in the Blondes as a tag team.
Remind Jay off air to not cut off before he's made the point. Okay. Anyway, Oh, there's my point. It's too far. Okay, go ahead. I don't know if Flying Brian gets in, but I do know that the Blondes should be in the Hall of Fame of anything ever because they were the best tag team that didn't get a freaking shake, bastards. Stupid Bischoff and I'm sorry, stupid Bill Watts. I like you, Bill, but anyway. But I don't know if Brian, prior to getting paired with Steve, on a complete fluke, let's not kid ourselves. I don't know if Flying Brian pre-1993 gets in because he was a great little hand and a great light heavyweight champion. That was it. He had to be turned loose and get paired with a fellow dork like Steve Austin, and off they went to the races. So Brian should have been in already. And like you said, if they want to pull a dick move and get one around on Martha, go around Melanie too. Screw it. Put the faction in. But I will say this: when they put the faction in, put a fence around the thing so Brett doesn't get tackled again. And if he doesn't get tackled, freaking have Natty stop because Natty will freaking just kill somebody. She's crazy. She's like your old man. All right. Where am I at? How the hell am I? I'm thinking around so much. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 5 is one that warms my heart to say it because I know he's going in now because he came back and he looks better than he ever looked. And he's going to be back full time, I think, from what I'm hearing in the reports. I don't know if it's for sure or not, but we shall see. Anyway, he is a multiple-time tag team champion, multiple-time world champion in multiple promotions, and he is probably the only guy that is not in, probably because when the pair of them broke up, the other guy went to the freaking moon on his singles run, and his ex-partner got kind of eclipsed. However,
he became the Jannetty.
He did, but you know what? He is the least Jannetty of the Jannetties.
This is true.
By and large. He is the least Jannetty of the Jannetties. I will fight. I will die on that hill. Christian Cage, Jay Resso, whatever you want to call him. I mean, that's
Charisma.
Last month. That's at the Rumble this year. Boy is jacked. And he's cleared to wrestle again, man. I'm so freaking happy for him. It's ridiculous how happy I am for him.
His hair is about as thin as mine, though.
And you know what? I don't want to talk about hair thinning today, all right? I don't want to talk about that.
I mean, I've still got a little length to it, but it's getting pretty thin up there. Like,
you know what? Shut up. Okay, thanks. All right. You got it on the air. You happy? Good. Okay, very good. All right.
And he's younger than me.
Yeah. Aaron Monday decides to post the old picture, And even in 2006, my hair was thinner than his. I was the youngest guy in the picture. I'm like, screw you all. Anyway, dickheads. It was a bad joke. Freaking two Jews and Riff walking into a bar. And Jeff looks like shit. Anyway.
Put that picture of Christian up again.
Okay.
He's looking for Jeff Meacham's hairline.
You're fired. That's it. This is your last show. You're done. You're fired. It's over. You're fired.
I do the proverbial walk off, but I'm sitting down, so
Scoot your chair. It's Muppet style. Anyway. By the way, Disney Plus is evil for putting Muppet Show on Disney Plus. I can't not watch it now. It's like it's bad. It really is. It's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, Christian Cage, whatever you want to call Christian, he's one of the best wrestling personalities ever. He's an interesting cat to meet in person. You got to catch him on a good day, because if he's on a bad day or an awkward day, he's just kind of like aloof, like whatever. But he's a freaking amazing wrestler, and he definitely deserves it. All right, here's one that
if you are a female, he will not hesitate to hit on you either.
Oh no, in front of your man. Anyway, you're married, Jay. You're married. Thanks. Okay. Anyway, number 4. Yeah. This one forever pisses me off that he's not in. I don't understand it. He wasn't part of the class action lawsuit thing where he would be excommunicated. He's not part of that. He's not part of any group that has caused trouble where he would be excommunicated. But he's not in there, and I don't understand it. His manager's in. His greatest opponents are in. The guy that broke a wrench over his face is probably going to get in at some point. Why is Vader not in? Why is this a thing? How is Vader not a Hall of Famer? What the hell is taking the McMahon family so long to figure this out? Is it because he came in and his run was botched? Like, that wasn't his fault. He didn't freaking neuter his own self walking into that company. That was Vince. His first feud was trading shots with Gorilla Monsoon as the president of the company. Pigeonhole number 1. No disrespect to Gorilla at all. Please don't use me for that one. God almighty. But they botched it from the start. And granted, his rep was pretty screwed up when he left WCW because Paul Orndorff whooped his ass in a shower, and it wasn't a good look for Leon. But you cannot argue the mystique of Big Van Vader / Vader. You can't. This guy ruled WCW and only stopped because the Red and Yellow Express showed up, and neither one of them wanted the job of the other. Again, not trying to knock Hogan because it's my birthday week and I don't do that my birthday week, but Hulk screwed that up for him. He really did. So I don't get it. I don't. All right. Number 3, I'm going to put the picture up after I do a little dissertation because I forgot to have my prop in front of me when I did this one, so I will go ahead and do that as I present this person. This is hard. I hate talking about this one because it really is. It makes me sad that she's not in and that she can't be here to accept it when she does get in. Because she was, to this day, whenever I watch WrestleMania 7, the first pay-per-view I ever watched, whenever I watched SummerSlam 91, the first Coliseum home video I ever bought, I see this image of Liz, so happy, and there is not a frown behind her. Look at that. Nobody did not love Elizabeth. Everybody loved Elizabeth, and if you didn't love Elizabeth, you had no soul. And I'm a ginger, so I can attest to that. Now, you coming in when you came in, you saw Naughty Liz and NWO Liz, Sexy Leather Liz, and all that, but this is my Liz. And as I turn over to you for just a second while I grab my prop, Hang on for a minute, brother.
I was just going to say, you know, granted, I may have come in later and seen NWO Liz, but NWO Liz did nothing for me. You know, this is the Liz that I fell in love with too. And you talk about how there's no frowns on anybody, how everybody seems to be so like in admiration of her. If you focus only on the first couple of rows, then yeah, absolutely. But then you see this kid in this white polo shirt looking up at the ceiling for some reason, you
He's
know,
looking
and
for
you
Sting.
see,
Anyway,
right? And you see guys looking to the side like they're having conversations with their buddies. And it's like,
right.
man, where you get this chick off the stage, no one wants to see this crap. But you know, you're absolutely right. For the most part, you know, I don't know anybody in the history of professional wrestling that has a negative thing to say about Elizabeth. And
Full
that is the
disclosure,
true testament right there.
right. We are filming this on my birthday. The prop is a birthday present, and apparently it's been wrapped and taken away, so I don't have it.
Oh,
I got Elizabeth figure for my birthday. So there you go. So, all right. My number 2 is your number 1, so I'm gonna blatantly steal your picture. I mean, you said it. You know, you said what you needed to say, and I know I was gonna say something when I said I was gonna wait till I said my part. Now I forgot what I was gonna say because I got all verklempt about Elizabeth. Owen not being in, and I get it. I watched Dark Side of the Ring. I understand, and I didn't until I watched it. I'll be honest with you. I was mad that he wasn't in, and I watched that, and I watched the sorrow on those faces, and sorry, I get it. I do. And I even get Mark Henry appealing to her anyway, right? But if we're being honest and we're doing the show of who should be in and whether whether we're right about it or not, he's at the top of yours. He's like, it's really 1A. I mean, really, it's a damn shame,
mm-hmm.
and it probably will forever be a damn shame.
Yeah. And like I said during my speech on it, like I get where Martha comes from. I really do. You know, I don't want to seem like I'm heartless about it and just being, you know, bitch, let him get in the Hall of Fame. We need him in there.
Right.
That's not my mission at all.
I understand.
I get where she's coming from. I watched the same Dark Side of the Ring. You know, I get where Oj is coming from. But like I said, it's about healing.
Yeah.
Everybody still needs to heal from that. And I feel Owen going in is the ultimate healing.
Yeah. And the fact
that
he's
chapter
not
could finally be laid to rest. Because you know, until he goes in, Hunter or Brett or Natty or somebody is gonna push the issue to her.
Yeah. Yep. And if you've read everybody's books, it's bad, man. WrestleMania 26, okay, yeah, but you didn't see Martha there. So,
Nope.
Saying. All right. Now, the reason Owen's not my number one is because this guy not being in is also a bunch of crap. I don't think he's in one of those stupid class action things where we're not going to let him in because we're being petty. Let me just double check before I go into my spiel, because I don't think he is part of that. Because there's a lot. I mean, it's funny. We did No Holds Barred on Monday, the review. The wrestler that Rip is wrestling in the opening scene is Bill Eadie, Demolition Axe. I didn't know that until we watched it. I totally forgot. And he's in that group. Him and Smash both. So they won't get in. Anyway, Oh, you know what? I take that back. This person is in that lawsuit. That's why he's not in. Okay, well, that explains it. But that notwithstanding, okay, you and I are both younger than this happening, but we can still relate to it because we're both hardcore, diehard fans. We grew up in a time where you and I did, where Hulk Hogan was the guy, and then Steve Austin was the guy, and when Hulk Hogan lost the championship in that screw job, it was like, what? How could they do that? But it was a screw job. When Steve Austin lost his title in '98, it was a screw job. When Brett got screwed, it was a legitimate screw job. But when Bruno Sammartino lost the WWF Championship in 1971 in front of a sold-out Madison Square Garden, you and I both seen the Garden on TV. A lot of people in that damn Garden. When a 20,000-plus seat arena goes quieter than a church on Sunday, that's power. That's impact. That's the guy that beat Bruno Sammartino in front of that crowd. And yes, he's part of that class action thing where it ain't going to happen. But I still think it's bullshit that Ivan Koloff is not a Hall of Famer. Ivan Koloff did what nobody could do. Excuse me. I can't. I had no English apparently because I'm talking about a Russian guy. Ivan Koloff beat freaking Bruno Sammartino. That's the tweet. That's the sentence. Ivan Koloff beat Bruno clean. He didn't job him out. He didn't screw him. He didn't have Captain Lou help him. He jumped off the top rope with a knee, landed on Bruno. 1, 2, 3, done. That's the surprise. That's the crowd going, wait, what? You can't sit there, Vince, son of Vince Jr., Vince Sr., who booked Bruno. You can't tell me that's not bullshit. You can't. And if you say it to my face, you're lying. Sorry, but you are. Get over the petty. Let these people in. Ivan first. Honorable mentions. Now that I've dropped
the before I get to honorable mentions, I got to say, dude, your list was really good. I mean, I knew coming from the professor it would be. There's a couple people that I kind of kick myself for not thinking of. Vader being one of them.
Right.
Honestly, I think the reason Vader isn't in the Hall of Fame is just because his WWF run was so forgettable.
It really was so bad.
It's like, oh yeah, Vader was there, wasn't he? Huh. Okay.
It's just
Lex.
But again, it's not freaking Leon's fault, man.
No, I know. Lex.
It's so stupid.
Much like you, I have never been a Lex fan.
No.
Much like you, I still hold Lex responsible for what happened to Liz.
Right. Yep.
But professional, personal.
Right.
And even though he wasn't the greatest wrestler in the world, you can't deny his professional career.
And you can't deny the fact that dude was smart enough to know that, yeah, I don't like this stuff, but I can make money in this stuff.
Liz, you want to talk about why is this female not in the Hall of Fame? Liz was the blueprint that every female that came after her aspired to be.
Yeah. It took
they either aspired to be Moolah or Liz.
Yeah.
Moolah's in and Liz isn't.
Right. And Moolah's controversies are now out there, so it's like, come on, guys. And honestly, it took over 10 years and your guardian angel to take that blueprint and go, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Just saying. And with all due respect, Tammy's kind of investigate yourself. So, and she's in. So, you know.
Sunny kind of mixed the best of Liz and Moolah.
Right.
To create the true blueprint of a diva.
Yes, exactly.
Because without Sunny, there'd have been no Sable. Without Sunny, there'd have been no Trish.
And without Trish, Jeff would have had a lonely Attitude Era nights. Anyway, so moving right along.
Honorable mentions. Honorable mention for my celebrity wing.
Okay.
I mean, the man was at WrestleMania. He sat next to many a pro wrestler on his own talk show, and its many incarnations.
Yes.
Regis Philbin. And of course, you had to use a photo with Hogan, brother.
Brother. I promise, guys. Next week I'll be better. I promise I'll be good next week. I promise. Hey, big goal tomorrow is going to be Dusty. So there you go. There's no Hogan there whatsoever. So there you go.
Now that's going to be a lot of if you will.
Yeah, baby.
Get the dusty lips. The dusty lips, baby.
I pissed you guys out so much this week. I'm going to be a good little boy on next week. I promise. Anyway. There you go.
But Regis Philbin, I mean, come on. From hosting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with WWE superstars, Regis and Kathy Lee, Regis and Kelly, and the number of superstars that came through those doors.
Oh, yeah.
WrestleMania, like, how is Regis not in the Hall of Fame?
And I couldn't find a good, not grainy picture of them. Let's not undersell his close, deep friendship with Freddie Blassie.
Yeah.
Like, Freddie and Regis were like peanut butter and jam, man. Like, dude, Freddie loved Regis. Regis got granted access to the garden with the Iron Sheik because of Freddie. Like, it's, again, Freddie's in, deservedly so. God, for Christ's sakes, Freddie deserves that. More than anybody, I would think. Iron Sheik's in, and he's knucking futz. Why is Regis not in? Come on, guys.
And especially when you compare to some of the celebrities that are in. You know?
I know Cleveland rocks, guys, but come on. Sorry. Go ahead.
Exactly. Drew Carey. Like, I know he took tombstones at 3 consecutive Manias, but Regis should be in over Pete Rose. Personal opinion.
Okay.
Personal opinion.
All right.
When you look at his ties to the business,
I know
Regis has more than Pete.
Okay. You already got
Regis
fired.
should even be in over the former president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Oh, that one I will co-sign all day. All day.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, guys, like, come on.
Yep.
And I'm not knocking any of those entries in the celebrity wing. I'm not taking anything away from them. But how is Regis not in there?
Yeah, seriously.
For women, you know, I talked about Molly and Sable and women of their time period and how Trish and Lita and Ivory and Jacqueline are in. Why isn't Victoria in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
I was going to say, this is your cue for the picture. There we go.
Sorry, I for some reason when my phone went off, it delayed the computer. Weird shit.
I mean, Victoria and Molly at WrestleMania 20 should be enough to put both women in on its own merit.
Yep.
Not to mention the original Psycho Stalker gimmick.
Yeah, baby.
We touched on her theme on the underrated themes, all the things she said tattoo version.
Yes.
I lost my crap when she came out this year at the Rumble.
Right?
Me and my buddy were at work. He was watching the Rumble on the network on his phone.
Nice.
Her music hit, and I was like, holy shit, it's Victoria.
Nice.
I grabbed my phone and messaged this man immediately because I
Yep.
was marking out.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. He rarely marks out anymore, y'all. But man, I saw Lisa. I'm like, all right, 3,
I
2.
love me some Victoria.
Yep.
Ever since the day that I met her. And yeah,
Dude.
even prior to that, but the day I met her solidified my love for her.
Yep. Yeah, I'm mildly mad at both of us for not going to see her last weekend. I'm not gonna lie.
It happens.
I know.
You know,
it's like, damn. I mean,
were
her
it
and Brooke are
not
both out
for
here.
COVID, I
I know.
probably would have gone.
Yeah, I feel you. Same with me.
I
And plus, I
just-
got stuff to do this. Yeah. So anyway,
I don't want to take that risk for
No.
a professional wrestler.
right, exactly. Yeah, right.
Next honorable mention. We talked about the woman that he trained earlier.
Yes.
We talked about a man who is longtime tag team partner of his earlier.
Yep.
Dean Malenko.
Yeah, baby.
How is this man not in the Hall of Fame? You think about the matches that he has had against and with Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, Benoit. Yes, his WWF run post the Radicals was nothing to write home about.
No.
They turned him into a James Bond wannabe, get the girls, and that is not Dean Malenko.
007. That was a thing, people. I'm not lying.
I know. You know what I would have liked to have seen them do with Malenko? If he had been more active during the time of the invasion. I would have liked to have seen Malenko and Storm as a team.
Oh my God, right? Man.
Because both of them had that no-nonsense technical prowess.
Yep.
And for the true technical wrestling fans that watch our show, I'm sure I just made them get a little bit wet by the possibilities of Malenko and Storm as a tag team.
I know what you're talking about.
But serious, think about that, dude. Like, that would have been golden.
Yes.
The Canadian Lance Storm, the American Malenko. And then you could even throw the Brit Regal in there for the triple threat. And watch out, MFers, watch out. Because all of them were
Check,
Team
please.
Alliance. Right?
Cigarette towel. Thank you.
The next 3 on my list are more, or excuse me, I should say the next 4 on my list. I'm more so putting in because of their contributions to the Tribe of Extreme than anything else. Even though one of them is a former Intercontinental Champion.
Yes.
2 of them are former WWF Hardcore Champions. One of them is a former WCW United States Champion.
Yes.
And one of them is a former WWF Tag Team Champion, and I believe WCW Cruiserweight Champion.
Yes, and lest we forget, that person is the reason Tammy Sitch is a wrestling personality.
And one of them, or excuse me, 2 of them, really one of them, but 2 of them technically are former NWA World Heavyweight Champions.
No, well, 3.
3?
Only not Tommy.
Huh. I did not know about the last one.
Well, we'll see who you didn't know, and Professor will be in lecture. All right, good stuff. Cool.
So, we're talking about the franchise, Shane Douglas.
Cutting the promo at the end of the NWA, so I threw that in there for you. So,
thank you.
Yes.
I mean, with everything the franchise has done in his career, again, it's a matter of professional versus personal.
Right.
Professionally, if the WWE is trying to build itself as the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, the franchise Shane Douglas needs to be in there.
First ballot.
He won't be because of personal.
Oh yeah.
But much like Benoit, professionally, Shane needs to be in there. If for no other reason but for that promo that he cut on the NWA throwing down the title.
Right.
Forget about his matches. Forget about everything else. Right. That moment is Hall of Fame worthy.
Seriously, when you think about the number of times you and I have interacted with that 10 pounds of gold, and he took that belt, went, no, thanks. I'm good. You totally, what the fuck? Well, huh? What did you just do?
Smooth transition. I'm talking about the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, baby.
Again, man, you want to talk about the heart of a company.
Yeah.
Tommy Dreamer was the heart, the soul, the blood, figuratively and literally, that flowed through Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Shit.
How Tommy Dreamer is not in the Hall of Fame is a crying shame.
Right.
And he's been an agent for WWE.
Yeah. Like front office at a desk with suit and tie agent. Seriously.
But this man right here needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
We're talking about Scott Raven Levy.
Oh man, Scotty.
That's your cue. Where is it? There we go.
I'm sorry, it delays issues.
Johnny Polo, Scotty Flamingo, Raven.
Yes.
Again, this man took what Jake laid out in a blueprint and exponentially took it to the next level.
Oh, yes.
Both in ECW and in WCW. Not so much in WWF, but still.
And then in TNA did it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He evolved his character once again.
Yeah. Now, you remember him winning the NWA title, right?
Yes. I do not remember my last person as NWA champion.
I will fill in the blanks when you're done talking about him.
Chris Candido. This one was another shock when we lost him.
Oh my God.
Because he was in the midst of an amazing comeback in TNA. And on a fluke passed away.
Yeah. Just screwed up, man.
His longtime counterpart, his girlfriend, wife, confidant, Tammy, has come into the Hall of Fame. Chris needs to be in there too.
Yeah. Now, when we saw this go down, once the 10 pounds of gold got rescued from the ECW arena, it got taken to Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And in the finals of the tournament to crown the champion later that year, Chris walked out the title.
Got it.
And then Chris dropped it to Dan the Beast Severn in February of 95. So Chris was the man that transitioned it from being dropped in the middle of the ring to the Beast. So there you go. Chris has his place in history. I found actually, I was looking for Chris pictures earlier, and I found, I'll show to you the one of Chris and Tammy with the belt in the picture. So I will show that to you later.
So there we go.
There are a lot of people on this list that have been world champion many times over, and there's no ring on their finger. Like, what the frick?
For his honorable mentions, we throw it back over to Jeff, MRF, and Meacham.
There we go. All right, yeah, because I
don't want to take your F away from you.
Yeah. All right, my list is short. I got 3. And I only put them in the honorable mentions because if I put one of them in the main list, not the other 2, then I get hate mail because that's how my fans are. The first one, as we tape this now, which is Monday, my birthday, the 1st, is in very poor health right now. A lot of people are thinking he's not going to make it too much longer. So I did want to make sure I mention that and say, we are thinking of you, sir. We are wishing you well. We hope you get out of whatever's happening. We don't know the details, none of our business. Jim Crockett. I mean, this guy was the only guy left when Vince steamrolled over the freaking country and only had to sell because he was not as good a money manager as he was a booker or a chooser of a booker from Dusty. So there you go. Yeah, Jim Crockett. Sorry, I'm hearing noises. I'm going crazy. Anyway, Jim Crockett was one of the best promoters in the history of wrestling, as was his father, Big Jim Sr. And he unfortunately just got too caught up in trying to top Vince. It's really what it came down to. And then he got carried away and got too in over his head, and had to get bailed out. Is what it is. The next guy, if he doesn't go in as a promoter, if he doesn't go in as a advocate, manager, consult, ringside guy, loudmouth, obnoxious bald guy, then he should just go in just because of all that combined.
We talking about you?
Hey, I mean it's true, but hey. Although to be fair, I did pattern my managerial personality when I got to the Indies after this guy, trench coat and baseball cap and everything. I mean, we know why he's not in because he's still there and he's telling Vince, I don't want to do that yet. So he's going in. So he really shouldn't be on here because he's going to go in. It's going to happen for Paul. But I just feel it should happen already because I think I said this to you. I don't know if I said it to you on air, if I said it to you privately. He has supplanted Bobby Heenan as my all-time favorite manager. He is the best manager, advocate, whatever you want to call that role in the history of professional wrestling, sports entertainment. Said it what I said. He's the guy. Paul's the best ever.
Well, I mean, he did manage 3 consecutive WWE champions, so.
And he got to take the reins with Mean Mark Callis at the end of his run in WCW, and kind of Paul's the one that called Vince and goes, dude, get this guy now. So without Paul Heyman, there's no Undertaker. Let's just sit on that for a second. Okay.
I had heard that Hogan talked to Vince about Mark because he was working with him on the set of Commando. Suburban Commando, that is. Not Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's 2 different movies.
No.
That was the rumor I had heard. I did not know that it was Paul.
It was Paul initially. Terry definitely, got in his ear once we got off to the Commando because Mark was already not working for Turner anymore. So yeah, there was, So yeah, without Hulk Hogan and Paul Heyman, there's no Undertaker. So let's just have their own separate ring by themselves for that alone, right there. So yeah. But without Paul Heyman, there's no Stunning Steve Austin getting the rub in WCW. Without Paul Heyman, there's no extreme superstar Steve Austin getting to say whatever the hell he wanted to say on the air. Without Paul Heyman, there's no guiding Mick Foley from warbly old crazy Cactus Jack into anti-hardcore Cactus Jack promos in the middle of his freaking mom's garage. Without Paul, there's no Rob Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, lest I go on. Triple Threat.
Dudleys.
Yeah. Dudleys. Yeah. Like, Paul will go into the Hall of Fame in each category. Manager.
Without
promoter.
Paul Heyman, there is no Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, or Psychosis. That list right there, forget about everybody else. That list right there is enough to solidify his place.
Yeah. And not to be egocentric, without Paul Heyman and his style on air, there's no Jeff Meacham getting his confidence at ringside as an on-air personality. Straight up, there's not. I started myself in the door, 3 next to so-and-so, and working with Aaron and working with you guys and everything. But by the time I got to you, I had already been in the indies a little bit. And it was watching tapes of Paul and reading Paul's transcript promo and just studying the guy. Aaron opened the door for me and allowed me the platform. Molded myself after Paul gave me the chutzpah to be who I am. And then there's this guy. Oh, this guy. He is the only guy to date to take what Vince McMahon had done and turn it on its ear and knock on his keister for 83 weeks. I mean, and not only did he do it, but then when he lost the war, he still got a job. And then when he left that job and went to TNA with Hogan and tried to bury Vince again, Vince brought him back again to run the company. Like, Bischoff is the freaking feline of WWE. He's got 9 lives because he's that good. And Vince knows he's that good. Great recognizes great. We've said that for so many years in sports. If Vince had wanted to kill Eric Bischoff so bad, he probably would have adopted his ass. For real. But yeah, I mean, Bischoff's responsible for so many things that I latch onto in fandom, in my work, in everything. Travis has been doing this so many years. Controversy Creates Cash is our freaking promotional Bible. Like, his layout of a show, the star, where the star, I forget the whole thing was. I forget now, but yeah, his whole layout of the presentation, it's like, dude, that's brilliant. The dude is smart as hell. And he came from a freaking sales job sitting in the back corner in Minneapolis with frosty tip hair. Good grief, Eric. What the fuck? But then he had a suit jacket on, so he got put on the air. Fluke. And he was a C Squad announcer reporting to Tony, who reported to JR. And he went, I can do that. And he did it. I can't not kiss Eric Bischoff's ass. I can't. And again, I'm gonna freaking be a complete mark and a jackass right now. But honestly, where's my shirt? Hang on. Ugh. No, God damn it, where is it? I don't know where I put it. I don't know where I put it. Anyway, NWO. You know, we have our logo because of Eric Bischoff's creation. So there you go. So, yeah.
Mashed with Disney script.
What's that?
So mashed with Disney script. Because that's how we roll.
Eric Bischoff won't be mad. The Mask Mafia will. Anyway. Mickey's watching. Mickey's right there. He's watching.
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
No. We're gonna get sued and thrown off the air. Anyway, that's my honorable mentions. Those three guys. I mean, again, if you put one on my list and take out somebody else, then how do you not put the other two? Because those three guys are the only three guys to make Vince even mildly scratch his balls and wonder if it's going to be okay. So, you know.
Well, much to their chagrin, I feel that Bischoff and Heyman will probably go in the same class.
Right? Well, but you know what? To be fair, the chagrin comment's not true anymore because they've actually made nice. So.
Still,
I know.
You know, controversy creates cash.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I definitely see them going in the same class.
Sure.
Because, like you said, you can't have one without the other.
No, you can't.
And honestly, I'd like to see Vince induct them both.
Right.
As competitor A and competitor B.
Right.
During the wars.
I mean, we always, whenever we talk about these guys, we always think back to that picture when Vince brought Paul out and the three of them are in the ring together. And every fan of the Monday Night War era is just sitting there going, because what the hell? That never would have happened. Never was going to happen. And there they are, the three of them together in the same ring at the same time. Without killing each other in the process. That's the weirdest thing.
Verbally is a different story, but physically, there was.
Because Paul Sawyer can do asshole. There's no question about that whatsoever. Love you, Eric, but yeah.
What do you guys out there? Yeah, right. What do you guys out there think? Did we forget anybody that you feel deserves to be in the Hall of Fame that is not there? Let us know. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. As always, we will do our best to get back to you.
We will. I promise. We will try. So, I did mention earlier that tomorrow's going to be the redo on Big Goal I tried to do last week with Dusty. But Sunday, somehow, while I'm on the road this weekend, I will attempt the watch along because I've never done AEW watch along before, to my knowledge. And it's a pretty stacked card. So I definitely want to check that out and have you guys check it out with me. So if you're around Sunday afternoon at 6:45, come on over to youtube.com/Jeff Meacham and join me for the ride of your life because, like I said, AEW's got a lot of our friends, so it's always cool to watch our buddies work, right? So, and definitely. Sting's wrestling. God help me, Sting. Steve, please don't die on Sunday, please. God.
I think he still has enough in the tank for special performances.
I understand. And as long
as they utilize him for just special performances and don't make him a weekly or monthly performer, I think they'll be fine.
I mean, I went in depth on the card on Tuesday, so I'm not going to get into much of it here, but it's just like I worry about Steve. I don't worry about Sting. I worry about Steve. You know, it's just ugh. Anyway.
But before we get to the big goal tomorrow, before we get to the AEW pay-per-view on Sunday, go over to the Casa de 18 Studios channel after this finishes airing. It's already been competing with my review over there, but make sure you go and check out my review of Triple H in Inside Out for today's episode. Tomorrow on the Casa de 18 Studios channel, you can catch my review of Countdown starring Kane and Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
And Sunday, while AEW is running. If you are not an AEW fan, you can check out my review. If you are an AEW fan, come over after the pay-per-view is over. Check out my review of Stone Cold Steve Austin in Knockout.
Well, if your review is on at 6 o'clock Eastern, like it usually is, we shouldn't overlay.
Oh, okay.
Because I started at 6:45.
Okay, there we go.
You good to go, brother.
So make sure you
So
come
good,
over to
man.
my channel and check those 3 reviews out.
Yes, sir. Hour and 40 minutes. Good grief. All right. So now that we're done with that, I'm gonna go check my mail because birthday stuff's outside and it's Monday. And I know it's really Friday for you guys because you're not watching on Monday because that's a weird Back to the Future thing I can't pull off right now. I'm working on it though. Thank you guys so much for this week. I said it during my stream at midnight Monday morning, and I said it during Talk Wrestling. I love you guys so much for supporting me for all these years and the last 14 months especially. I mean, I'm gonna get paid at the end of the month finally. Like, fuck. I'm so happy. Like, I can't even. I'm gonna cry how happy I am.
I'm
and
happy
I did
for
mention
you, my
it.
man. I remember that. I remember when we would get the payouts and how much it meant. So I'm happy that you're finally getting your first one of your own channel, my friend.
I mean, I've had that freaking dollar sit up there for a year and a half from the Yankees thing, but like this is huge for me, man. So, like I said all day today, I promise Monday when we get back on the air, as little Hogan as possible, and no more lift spinning because Saturday's gonna be a lift mania, baby. Promise you this. If the damn thing works, I'm gonna be at the other house, at my sister's house. I don't know if the Wi-Fi's any good up there either. I don't know. It's gonna be a train wreck for sure. Love you guys. Thank you all very much for watching this week. We are the Dads, not always on wrestling. Next show we do in 2 weeks. It's still wrestling because I said so. But we're doing the movies starring wrestlers. And the first time we did this, because Jeff fucked up again, I actually surprised Jay with my number 1. So it'll be cool to not relive that because now he knows. But you guys will be surprised because I didn't know number 1 was number 1 until I looked like, oh, wow. There you go. So gonna be a good time.
And I'm gonna go ahead and full disclosure, I am not gonna edit my list at all.
Right.
Considering that I am currently watching movies that star wrestlers for my channel.
Nice.
I will not edit my list to replace or add any of these in. Right. I'm going to keep the list the way it was when we first filmed it, prior to me beginning to watch these.
Right.
I feel that's only fair. Because when we filmed it the first time, I had no frame of reference on these.
Right.
I shouldn't let that affect my list.
And to be fair to my medical condition, the TBI, like I forgot a good chunk of my list, and I didn't have it written down for whatever reason because my phone's been on the short bus here the last couple of weeks. So I may have had alterations. I kept the majority of it, and I really just kind of went off like muscle memory and what I remember liking based on who was in it. So I did my best to keep it intact, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, but we'll see how it goes in 2 weeks. So. Thank you all for watching. Good. Jay, you want to close this out or you want to let me do it?
I'll take it. Thank you very much for watching us here on another episode of Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, exclusively every other week, right here on the Jeff Meacham Network. See you guys next week for the replay of Renegades Reviews, which will be John Cena in Legend. Wait for it. Derry. And then back here in 2 weeks, once again, for another episode of Dads. Like he said, the top 10 movies that feature professional wrestlers, not cameos, not little blips. We're not talking about Hulk Hogan and Gremlins 2 or Muppets from Space or anything like that. We're talking about movies where the wrestler is a prominent featured character. So make sure you're back here in 2 weeks for that. Until then, I am the Renegade JJ Williams. He is Jeff Meacham, and we will see you guys next time.